Thank you for watching. I just wanted to make a brief comment on some of the, you know, some of the things that are coming out of the Republican Party, right? I'm an independent, so I can whatever I say, I'm going to say, and yes, I on my policy side, I lean to the left. That said, I could still be neutral and give you a neutral analysis. Here's my analysis on the Republican Party, coming from someone who is looking at it from an kind of a objective point of view, right? So when you look at some of the rhetoric that's coming out of the Republican Party, clear as a bell, at some point the Republican Party could completely spiral out of control. And here's what I mean by this. When you have individuals like Marjorie Taylor Greene, Congresswoman, right? You got Matt Gaetz. You got a couple of other guys talking all kinds of crap out there. The point is that post-Trump, you would think that the Republican Party is looking to basically equalize itself, because you all are losing a lot of your own members that are decent, moderate Republicans, can get a lot of things done for you guys. So the point is that when you are letting a subset group hijack your party, literally hijack your party, right? The way I see it, you got the Taylor Greenes and the Matt Gaetz are basically saying things, doing things. Even McCarthy, the minority leader, just him running down to Florida and taking pictures with Trump, trying to telegraph all sorts of messages there. The post-Trump Republican Party, needs to rediscover itself, its soul, so to speak, because the true conservatives are not what you see in the Republican Party right now. The Republican Party basically is a dying party. If the Republican Party is really looking to re-energize its base, bring in all sorts of other individuals into their party, right? You're going to need to go out there and do some soul searching nationwide and figure out, where is it that you stand? Do you stand kind of on the far right? Do you stand slightly closer to the middle, which is where you could win a lot of seats? Because there's a lot of people that I'm talking to, right? They're saying, I used to be a Republican. I used to be a Republican. I used to be a Republican, right? So you ask them, well, why did you leave? What happened? Well, was it because of Trump? And some of them would say yes, some would say no. And the ones that are saying yes, naturally, they're the diehard, probably 30-40% of Trump's base. But then you look at some of the other ones that said, no, I didn't leave because of Trump. I am leaving the Republican Party primarily because those values that I adhere to many years ago as a conservative who looked up to Ronald Reagan, who had certain principles that were conservative and some that were not so conservative, but the idea was the true conservative party is nothing what you see right now in the Republicans. Nothing. It's not even resembling. If you really want to look at who the real Republicans are, it's look at the guys, Rick Wilson, Schmidt, Steve Schmidt, all these guys that have left the party and walked away from it. These are the two true, conservatives of the party. So, in order to move forward, now this is my opinion, strictly my opinion. This is my analysis. And in order for the Republicans to move forward, they're going to have to do some real soul searching and figure out what it is that we need to do. Because you all, what you're going to try to do is try to disenfranchise voters so you can keep winning seats, right? But that's not going to fly for too long. Sooner or later, and more likely sooner, things are going to change for the other side, and you will not be able to squeeze all the voters. You just won't be able to do that, like what they did in Georgia, trying to pass these bills that are making it harder for people to vote and stuff. That is not the way to win the future hearts and minds. That is the one of the poorest way that you all can do it. And when I say you all, I mean I'm speaking directly to the Republican Party that, look, you are going to have to do some soul searching and figure out what it is, where is it that your, what it is that your true nature was as a conservative. Because I grew up with a lot of conservatives. I know who they are. Okay, I had relatives, family members, friends, many, before I even discovered who I was. At one time, I had registered as a Republican. Someone registered me, I don't know, one of my friends registered me many years ago. I didn't even realize that. But, as soon as I started to look into my own policy positions, I realized, okay, this is not for me. I need to switch, and I need to be, into first I became an independent, then I switched to being a Democrat. And lately, since last year, I stopped being a Democrat. I left the Democratic Party because I felt like it's not serving, the nation the way I would like to, because I'm a lot more progressive on a lot of the issues. Okay, that's me. I want to put my position aside. Back to the Republican Party and the true soul of the party. The true Ronald Reagan Republicans are going to have to question themselves and try to figure out ways to revive. And I mean revive, because right now it's basically dead or dying. Okay, you need to revive that old conservatives and energize them somehow. Talk to the guys that are in the far right and bring them to the center. But this rhetoric that you are basically, you're letting people like Taylor Greene, who doesn't even give a rat's ass about anything except herself and her own name recognition, right? Because she's just looking to promote herself. That's her self-promotion. Yeah, I'm Taylor Greene. I'm this. I'm that. When she sees the media is not covering her, she throws some other garbage out there so she can get coverage. She figure out, okay, this is the way I won the election. That's how I'm going to stay in power. But that is not the way to govern. That is not the way to win hearts and minds, especially of your own conservative people. Not just, I'm talking about the real conservatives. I'm talking about even the moderate conservatives are going to start running away. You're looking at people like Romney, and the Republican Party hates Romney because he voted to impeach and did all these things. But he is more of a centrist. Okay, yes, he probably leans to the left on some issues. Might be, it just comes across liberal at times. The thing is, nothing wrong with being in the center, because center is where you can govern and you can have compromises. The compromise is not on the far right or the far left. The compromises will happen somewhere in the middle, and we know this as policymakers, as political people, that you're going to have to arrive in the middle. Even those who are running for office, I usually often guide them and tell them, if you have a position too far to the right or too far to the left, okay, you're going to isolate a whole lot of voters. A whole lot of people will simply get disheartened by you, even your own party members. So the best thing to do is have a centrist approach and kind of come in the middle. That way you can have this, you can show this ability that you have this ability to compromise on certain things so the country can move forward. Remember, Republicans and Democrats, independents are not enemies. We're all part of the same fabric. We're simply going to have to understand that the other person who's registered as a D, registered as an I, registered as an R, is not an enemy. Is simply have a difference in opinion. They're philosophically different from me and philosophically different from someone else, but that doesn't mean that they're an enemy. So this is my point on that. Republicans, the true conservatives, need to do soul searching, and they need to activate themselves. And I know the Steve Schmitz and the Rick Wilsons are out there with the Lincoln Project and trying to bring back that old Ronald Reagan conservatives and people that were, Ronald Reagan was popular for a reason. Many people liked him. Even some of the individuals on the left liked him. And there was a reason why they liked him. Because he had this ability to compromise. Yes, he's controversial. There's things that he did that totally, upset me, okay, having to do with the unions and all these things. that's another subject. But when I look at what he did, having to do with immigration, he gave 3 million people. Ronald Reagan gave 3 million undocumented work individuals amnesty, blanket amnesty. 3 million. So this is not a joke. This was someone who was a diehard Republican. Now you are listening to individuals on the right that have absolutely no concept of what that fairness was as far as Ronald Reagan was concerned, why he was such a popular figure. Okay? You don't think he won hearts and minds by giving 3 million people blanket amnesty? Brought a lot of people into the Republican Party. A lot of people in the Republican Party. Those individuals that got their amnesty, remember, they had family members, they had friends, and these people just talked. And as time progressed, you saw a lot of people leaving the Republican Party because of their position on immigration, on healthcare, and a whole host of issues there. That, and then the worst thing that ever happened to the Republicans was the Tea Party. The Tea Party comes out, right after Obama got elected. The creation of Tea Party completely screwed things up for the Republicans. They screwed, and I don't mean to state it in that way, but the Republican Party got screwed by the Tea Party. They did, because people like Ted Cruz that came out of the Republican Party, the Tea Party, simply gave rise to other individuals who were just as kooky and crazy as him. Right? So when we're looking at the current day Republican Party, it is clear as a bell that at some point and very near future, you're all going to lose complete control of the party, and there could be a creation of a third party due to Republican Party failing. And remember, John McCain, God may rest in peace, actually came out and predicted a creation of a third party, or an advent of a third party. He said, it looks like nothing is getting done. We're probably going to look at a third party pretty soon down the road. I don't know what he was thinking. When he said that, I kind of looked at him like, it's strange. He's a Republican. I know he's to call him the maverick, and he leans to the left on some issues, slightly liberal on some issues, but when you study what he said, he simply stated something that he saw as a profound politician. He's an extremely intelligent person. He saw something coming there, and he realized after he ran against Obama, and then all the rhetoric that was coming out of the far right, he knew there would be a time in the future that we're looking at a third party. And maybe that's what we need as a nation. Maybe we need a third party. I don't know. Right now, when I look at all the dynamics of our current political environment, the left is got their issues. They got very few people wanting to get things done on the far left. In the far right, you have the same situation. They're worried about losing the nation to black and brown people, and they're coming out with some rhetoric there. Taylor Greene just introduced that Anglo-Saxon, was trying to introduce that Anglo-Saxon thing, and then she got some pushback from the Republicans themselves, and they told her to get lost. So the thing is, these kinds of tumors that are in the Republican Party, and I don't mean specifically anyone, I'm talking about issues there. Those specific tumors need to be removed by the party in order to survive. Otherwise, we are clearly looking at an advent of a third party. And I mean, within the next 8 to 10 years, I feel extremely, extremely strongly that there could be a third party there. So, because there is a lot of disgruntled people on the left, there is a lot of disgruntled people on the right, and therefore the natural occurrence of that would be a creation of a third party. So the topic of this video is not a third party. I'm not advocating for one. What I am saying is the Republican Party is spiraling out of control, okay, and they need to get a handle on it. Because in order for the nation to move forward, you need two people to compromise. You need two heads to compromise. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So right now, this gridlock that we're facing, I take over, I'm going to put my own people in there. I take over, I'm going to put my own people in the Supreme Court. Now we're looking to expand the court. We're doing all sorts of things. These sorts of this sort of tension is an unhealthy tension, okay? And yes, we're a free society and we're always going to have some tension there. But the way things are progressing right now with Trump leaving but not leaving the party, he's like advocating for his positions to be in the forefront. And naturally, he's being supported by a large amount of base there. They're saying, okay, perfectly fine, no problem, we can deal with it. Well, I think we'll just carry on the Republican agenda forward, and we'll try. Remember, this man was not a politician. He didn't run for dog catcher. He didn't know anything. He had a little bit of money. Russia kind of basically, supported him, pushed him forward, gave him the nudge there that go ahead and run. We're going to try to help you whichever way we can. He was not a politician. He didn't understand policy. He didn't understand domestic issues. He didn't understand how to bring the nation together. Okay, he didn't understand foreign policy. He went out there willy-nilly trying to create foreign policy by the seat of his pants. All the generals and all the policy makers, briefers will tell him one thing, he'd do another thing. Stop getting the NIEs, the National Intelligence Briefings, right? Stop getting those. Why? Because he didn't follow them. He didn't know how to read them. So this is someone that was not, in my opinion, a successful president. And I mean Republican, Democrat, I just mean a very unsuccessful president. So you need to understand that part of it. He may have some base there, which is fine. Everyone has their base. Okay? If I ran, I would have a base too. Some sort. Anyone that runs has a base. Sometimes 10%, 20%, 50, 40. Everyone has a base that runs. Yes, he made a lot of noise. At that time, the sentiment was, yeah, build a wall, keep all these people coming in, keep all these migrants from coming up north, build a wall, make it so high they can't jump over it, all this, garbage rhetoric that came out of it. And he knew he couldn't do that. He knew he couldn't build a wall and have Mexico pay for it. All this garbage that we had to listen to the 4 years. It would have been a lot better if Donald Trump had run kind of in the middle, and he would still be president right now, okay? But he obviously didn't know how to do that because he never ran for anything before, didn't understand the entire the crux of our political campaign, how you stay in that position for more than 4 years when it comes to the presidency. I'm going to leave it at that. I think pretty much I covered some aspects of what I wanted to. There's a lot of things there. I'm going to continue to make more videos on it. But the next one to watch for is me talking about what would it take to actually have an independent party. I'm by no means trying to advocate for one right now, but I am saying what John McCain said a few years back. If things don't change, there could be a third party. Let me leave it at that. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.